Hello everyone, Justin here. Welcome to my kitchen in the Netherlands. And what I'm showing here is a couple of orchids that I've got flowering at the moment in the middle of winter. On the left here we've got Cattleya Christelle Smith, a beautiful hybrid with Sophronides coccinea in it. And next to that Paphiopedilum trainlineanum, bit of a mouthful, a miniature paph, not quite sure which country it comes from, but somewhere in Asia. Next to that, a hybrid with veitchiana in it. This is from Kramer Orchids in Germany. It's one of their hybrids, so you can find it on their website possibly, if they've still got it in stock. And next to that we've got a lovely Vanda Joannara gyrac squirrel. This is the first flowering for me. I've had it for about a year. You can see I've got my Vandas in water culture. So they get watered about once a week for 24 hours. And then I empty it out and let them dry off again. And some of them at least are responding quite well to this treatment. I've got another one, Paph here in bud. This is labelled as violascens, but I think it's actually boxallii. We'll see when it's opened. I've had this plant for a very long time, but it's been a long time since it last flowered, so I don't really remember that well what it looks like. So we'll see. But the main excitement today is that I've got a little box here from Großräschener Orchids in Germany with a little label on it there, Achtung, lebende Pflanzen. That means there's living plants inside. So this is a little delivery which has come in the middle of winter, so I'll be very interested to see how it turns out. Right, so I've taken the plants out of the box and they're still in their wrapping. This is what they look like. So we can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plants. And we've got the bill there from Großräschener with 8 plants. That's 3 Masdevallias, 4 Paphiopedilums and 1 Coelogyne. This is the first plant. It's little Masdevallia. The label is missing. But I'm pretty sure that this is Masdevallia melanopus. It's got little white flowers, beautiful little miniature Masdevallia. Second plant is Coelogyne ecarinata. This is a very small plant, but it can get a bit bigger than that, I think. So this is still a young plant. It does have a new growth on it. This plant is quite uncommon. It has beautiful translucent red flowers, quite unlike anything else I've ever seen. If the photos are anything to go by, they are very small flowers, about 1.5 to 2.5 centimeters on a raceme clustered together. So yeah, we'll see how this one goes. This is plant number 3, Masdevallia nidifica. In full flower, on a mount. Very cute little miniature. This was only €8, so I thought, well, why not? I don't really grow plants on mounts, although it's sitting next to a plant that's on a mount, which is actually a bromeliad. Yes, I'll have to think what I'm going to do with this one, but I probably won't keep it on the mount. Right, so next up we've got the 4 Paphiopedilums. Starting on the left here, the little guy here is bellatulum, very distinctive white flowers with the purple spots on that one. I've had it in the past, so I thought I'd give it another try. At the back here we've got violascens by philippinense, a hybrid. This is a really pretty good sized plant, not too many years off of flowering size, I hope, which is, yeah, the multiflorals can take a long time. to get the flowering size, but it's a pretty decent size. I'd say it's still got a couple of years to go. And then this one here, which is definitely flowering size because it's already flowering, and this is amabile. I'm not that familiar with this species, but it's well, what can you say? It's a mottled leaf paph, so probably like a little bit warmer temperatures. And this one here, which was the the reason for the haul, I guess, is stonei. It's a pretty small plant, and it was not that cheap. It was on sale. I got it for 30 euros, which I guess you say, well, that's quite a lot for a plant of that size, which if you consider that this is probably about 10 years from flowering size. But if we compare that with some other little multifloral paphs that I've got here, for instance, this one, I guess, another one, philippinense, that's even smaller again. And this one I think was, I'm not sure if it was from Schwerter or Wichmann, but the prices are not cheap on these multifloral species. So I guess that's kind of what you get for 30 euros. So. And last but not least, we have Masdevallia veitchiana. I have seen this in the wild in Peru, in Machu Picchu. It was growing in the slope above Machu Picchu, looking down onto that. A very beautiful Masdevallia with intense red flowers with a kind of purple pubescent overlay. Yeah, quite stunning. So I'm hoping that that's going to do well. So here we are now in the greenhouse, my crowded little greenhouse, and I've brought some of the plants out from the Großräschener Hall, which I'm going to now pot up into a new mix. And while we're out here, we can take a quick little look at what I've got going out here. So you can see lots of Cattleya seedlings here in all sorts of sizes and shapes. A couple of other plants as well. That's Neophinacia or Neostylus lucneri there in the front. They're growing under Mars Hydro lights. Installed that recently. This is making a pretty big difference for the Cattleyas and other light-loving species. A lot of them are kicking into growth, even though it's middle of winter. They really like it. I don't have too many problems with pests at the moment. Got some fruit flies, but I'm hoping to get them under control by lowering the temperatures a little bit more. So yeah, lots of little Cattleyas, and obviously as they grow, they're going to get bigger. They're going to get much bigger. That's how big they're going to get. So obviously going to run out of space at some point in time, but that's a problem for the future, and I've got some ideas how to solve that when that problem comes. And these are the 4 little plants from Großräschener, which I'm going to keep in the greenhouse. I'm going to repot 3 of them. This Paphiopedilum bellatulum here, I'm not going to repot. I think it's fine as it is. The other 3, I think are on the side of caution, and put them up into a fresh mix. So that's 2 Masdevallias, veitchiana and melanopus, and this interesting little Coelogyne ecarinata. Just to compare this with another little Coelogyne that I've got here. This is Coelogyne chloroptera. I've had this plant for it's probably 6 or 7 years, I guess, maybe longer. That also started out as a pretty small plant. It's been flowering pretty reliably the last year, so eventually ecarinata should grow into something of this stature approximately, I would hope. This is currently my favorite potting mix for the more moisture loving plants like Masdevallias and so forth. I'm also growing some cattleyas in this as well, and it seems to work surprisingly enough. So this is a very moisture retentive mix with a lot of sphagnum in it, and also peat and some orchid bark. Very moisture retentive, so I need to be careful when watering with this mix, but it also has a little bit of fertilizer in it, and a lot of the plants are loving it. This is DCM Ecoterra. They have two different types, so you need to make sure you get the right one, because the other one is just like straight orchid bark, nothing special. But this is a nice one, and it's in the 10-litre pack. So this is the root system on Coelogyne ecarinata. See, it has a very good root system. The media was just starting to break down, so I think it's a good time to pot it up again. But yeah, judging from that root system, it's going to do well. Coelogynes do like a lot of moisture, so I'll be putting it into a very moisture retentive mix. So here we see Masdevallia veitchiana with its roots. Pretty good root system. The potting mix was decomposing. About half of the roots were rotted. I took them all away, but there's still a lot of healthy roots there. So I think this should be fine. Here's the three little plants now that they've been potted up. I notice now that Masdevallia veitchiana actually has a clonal name, Prince de Gaulle, or Prince de Galle, not sure how you say that. And they're all potted up in that mix that I showed, ready to go. Yeah, so you might ask yourself, how can I grow these cooler growing species together with cattleyas, and also got some multifloral paphs in here as well? Well, the answer is just find a space that's a bit colder for them. So these ones will, what I'm doing now is actually putting them down here where it's a few degrees cooler, and they'll like it there. And in summer they go outside. And the cattleyas stay in here where it gets nice and warm and hot. They like the hotter or the warmer summers anyway. The Masdevallias hate it, so they go outside, and they'll be happy outside. This is a Masdevallia that I've had for quite some years. A little bit of a recovery project. This is Masdevallia colossus. It's now doing really well, and it's in that same mix, and loving it. Thanks for watching. Till next time.